you check it out.
Okay.
Woo! Woo! This is you. And I've got some bad news for you. You're trapped in a horror movie. Dun, dun, dun. I know. It sounds crazy, but you'll have to trust me for a minute, okay?
Questions. You've got millions. Lord knows I did.
How is this even possible?
Why me?
Am I going to die?
Nobody knows the answer to the first two. Maybe you fell down a rabbit hole, or took too many pulls off the old peace pipe. Or, in the words of Aldous Huxley, maybe this world is some planet's hell. As for the third one, the answer is
Yes, and soon.
Unless you do exactly what we tell you.
I've spent the better part of my life, if you can call it that, in the Terrorverse, sleeping with one eye open.
Nothing is as it seems anymore.
You're not a human, you're a character.
Filmmakers are doing everything in their power to kill you.
And us, we'll be your guides through hell.
So we suggest you stick close, pay attention, and avoid breaking the Terrorverse's one and only commandment.
Thou shalt not be stupid. It's not easy surviving a horror movie.
We know that from experience. Whether you're in a zombie movie, or performing an exorcism, our knowledge will help guide you through
How to Survive a Horror Movie by Seth Graham-Smith. How do you know if you're in a horror movie?
Horror movie characters aren't killed by machete-wielding monsters or reincarnated psychopaths. They're killed by ignorance.
Step 1, take a look around.
If you're on a crowded street in broad daylight,
Safe.
but if you're anywhere remote,
The woods.
an old house,
The abandoned mental hospital during a blackout.
you're dead.
Take a careful look. Is the room dimly lit?
Are there shadowy corners you should be able to see into but can't? Here are 10 places not to go.
A room lit with a single light bulb.
A room lit by nothing.
Any graveyard that is in Arlington.
Any summer camp whose murder rate exceeds 10%.
Maine.
The old anything.
Any hotel that is not part of the national chain.
Upstairs.
Downstairs. Any log cabin anywhere on the face of the earth. Do you hear any strange noises? Like metal on metal sounds coming out of nowhere?
Does the music crescendo when you open the door?
If you have answered yes to any of these questions, I've got some bad news for you. You're trapped in a horror movie. Ah! Step 2, take a look at yourself.
Are you or any of your companions wearing a varsity leather jacket?
Is there an achingly attractive yet prude-like female in your midst?
Determined to see if you fit any of the classic horror movie stereotypes.
The nice guy with a monosyllabic name.
Hey, Mark. The emo girl.
The nerd.
The deputy.
The dumb blonde who will die 20 minutes in.
Step 3, take the mad test.
The motivations.
And dialogue.
If you or any of your friends feel strangely compelled to do any of the following, you're definitely trapped in a horror movie.
Dig up a coffin, just to make sure something is dead.
Or harass a hobo.
Stop it. Play with a Ouija board, or read from a dusty old book.
Play at that one house where that guy murdered his entire family.
Or
Carve a crucifix into your face with a rusty screwdriver.
next, check your dialogue. Ask your friends what time it is. If you receive any of the following, you're definitely
Trapped in a horror movie.
the black guy's girlfriend.
Oh no, you didn't.
The emo girl.
I'm not gonna stop cutting until Bieber stops smoking weed.
The nerd.
I didn't even know you knew my name.
Or the fat guy.
Bring me Solo in the Wookiee.
Check the calendar.
There are 3 months in the horror movie year.
July, October, and December.
If the nearest calendar to you reads May, you're probably okay.
Unless every Friday is the 13th.
Step 5, check your watch.
There are still 24 hours in a horror movie day.
But 21 of those hours are spent at night.
Let's move on to
The 7 deadly horror movie sins! Deadly sin number 1.
doubt.
There are 2 types of horror movie characters.
Those who believe your story.
And those who don't.
What's wrong?
She was chopping on my arms!
Oh no, sweetie, it was just a dream.
No, it wasn't. Come on, people.
In horror movies, all nightmares are real.
Deadly sin number 2.
Machoism.
This is the jock who thinks that his football skills are enough to take out the reincarnated killer.
It's because they are. Or the redneck who intends to show them zombie tell his million chicks.
You want some of this?
You know the guy, the one who's had
I will say...
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Actually, you're going about a third of the way home before realizing that maybe this wasn't such a hot idea. But by then, it's too late. You hear the twigs snapping behind you.
Guys, this isn't funny.
No, actually, it isn't funny at all. You shouldn't have wandered away from the others.
At least in number 4.
Ugliness.
Nobody said horror movies were fair.
Which is why it's a safe warning to you to know that it's a sin to be anything less than drop-dead gorgeous.
Good thing we're safe. Deadly sin number 5.
Curiosity.
Investigation.
Equals mutilation. Now that you're a character in a horror movie, you need to remember that the audience is getting tenser and tenser with every step you take. Especially if you say any of the following.
Puddles? Is that you, Puddles?
Puddles is the name for the naked guy in your closet with razor blades attached to his fingertips.
I wonder what the inside of that creepy house looks like.
The inside of a creepy house that you don't belong in. Leave.
Is it dead?
No, actually, I think you should poke it with a stick because we want to watch it grab your arm and bite half your face off.
Deadly sin number 6.
Irresponsibility.
If you're supposed to be guarding the camp, guard the camp. Don't wander off to go pee.
And don't say any of the following.
What's a little nap for you?
A lot.
To rest me. The kids are fast asleep.
No, the kids are dead.
Deadly sin number
7. Making out in a vehicle.
It makes you vulnerable. You might as well just slap on a bumper sticker that says,
Murder us, please. Let's move on
wait.
to...
I think my house is haunted.
Unlikely, but you may have a haunted object.
What?
You know, like one of those creepy toy monkeys that bang symbols together. A picture of a dead relative.
Oh, well, there is that one of my Uncle Mark.
Yes?
No, what really happens is, while I'm asleep, my vacuum cleaner comes to life. It's really scary.
Perhaps we should tell them how to identify if an object is haunted.
Good idea. Step 1, ask yourself, are the Nazis looking for it?
If Der Fuhrer wants it, it's not good.
Step 2, look for any unnecessary features.
How many faces does it have? 2? That's not good.
Or any non-existent languages.
Brown.
You know what? If you can't read it, it might just be non-existent.
What about Spanish? You can't read that.
Sounds evil.
Or you can try the dog test.
In this scenario, you will show your object to Spot. Scenario 1, Spot takes no interest. Your object is not haunted, therefore you may keep it. Give Spot a bone for his troubles. Scenario 2, the Spot barks at the object. Your object is definitely haunted. Best case scenario by a friendly ghost. Worst case scenario, your object is a bridge over which the armies of hell will march into our world. Dispose of it immediately and give Spot a bone for his troubles. Scenario 3, Spot pees on the floor. Your object is haunted. You should dispose of it immediately, clean up the floor, and don't give Spot a bone this time. Scenario 4, Spot dies. Your object is definitely haunted. You should dispose of it immediately and run from your house in a mad panic, never to return.
Now that they know they're in a horror movie, let's tell them how to escape. Let's move on to...
Raven! Cover, recon, arsenal, vehicle, escape, north.
First off, take for cover. Running around in a panic is the quickest way to end up with a machete in your back. You need a temporary headquarters.
Churches.
Though they may not protect you against all of the evil villains,
Zombies are notorious agnostics.
they will protect you against the demons and supernatural slashers like Dracula!
Or water towers. There's only one staircase to worry about up there.
Next up, take reconnaissance. You've had time to gather your breath. Now you need to locate your attacker.
So look up that church steeple.
Or that water tower. If you don't see your villain right away, he's probably...
right behind you!
Ah!
Or not.
Next up, find a weapon.
If you're barricaded in a house, grab a baseball bat.
Or a kitchen knife.
Or any other object kids aren't allowed to play with inside.
If you're in a church, grab a candlestick.
If you're on the water tower... grab...
What?
Well, there's nothing really to grab.
Well, you probably should have thought of that before you got up here.
That's right.
Next up, find yourself a vehicle.
If you're barricaded in a house, and you look out that window, or off that church steeple, or off that water tower, you should have seen a vehicle. Now it's time to kick some butt.
That's right.
Dash, make a run for it.
You need to clobber, cut, and blind anything in your path.
Your goal, your only goal, is to make it to that car.
If you make it to an unoccupied vehicle, get in. Don't break the windows. Trust me, they did not take time to lock it.
Now turn the car on. It'll turn over and over again. But when the attacker gets to the vehicle and starts pounding on those windows you didn't break, it'll turn on.
Now it's time to make your escape.
This is the easy part.
For it!
Finally, head north.
Terrorverse America, it's always best to head north from wherever you are.
If you're in Maine, you'll soon reach the 98% terror-free.
Canada!
If you're on an alien-infested Pennsylvania farm.
And upstate New York. No horror movies happen there. Heck, most people even forget it exists.
Now we've taught you all you need to know about
how to survive a horror movie. Now grab a weapon and kick some butt.
But don't forget the Terrorverse's one and only commandment.
Thou shalt not be stupid.